Hey guys, Dr. Sean here, mailbag time. We're going to be digging into our thing here today, and we're looking at this one comes to us. Hey doc, what do you think about sunscreens and vitamin D? What's going on with these things? You know, are they safe? What do you recommend? How do you do it? Should I protect myself all day? What do I do? Okay, here's the deal, guys. Sunscreens, I understand sunlight's important for the human body, all right? Without it, we don't do well. We die. We have all kinds of problems where if you deprive the body of sunlight, we start developing diseases. Rickets is the big one that comes to mind off the top of my head. And we saw this with children 150 years ago when we'd make them work in mines all day long, right? You get a 10-year-old down in a mine, all of a sudden they start developing bone disorders and bone diseases because vitamin D is a major, major component that the body has to have. Where do we get it from? You get it from sunlight and how it synthesizes the cholesterol that we're always saying is so horrible for us. The cholesterol in your skin and the sunlight work together and produce a vitamin called vitamin D. In this case, it's really a hormone. And so we look at that and we think, well, gosh, vitamin D helps my immune system, it helps my bones, it helps fight osteoporosis, it does all these wonderful things for the body. And we're gonna block how we make it. Well, then we're gonna become deficient. And that's what tends to happen. Now, here's the key. When you're looking at sunlight, you got to get it in little bursts for a while, okay? So you got to look at that and say, okay, what do I do? What does that mean? 10 minutes, unexposed sun after 10 a.m. in the morning, somewhere between 10 and 2, that's where the sun tends to have the most punch, okay? So you start looking at that and thinking to myself, okay, I got to get some sunlight. That means no screens, no baths, get some sun on that body. Chest if you can, arms, face, try to get it on your body for about 10 minutes. Now, after 10 minutes, you don't want to burn because burning damages the cells, okay? And you're more likely to burn if you're nutrient deficient, if you're fat deficient in your diet, if you are lacking vitamin C, if you're lacking vitamin E in the diet, you're more likely to burn. So we look at this and we say, okay, how do we handle this? Small bursts. So when sunlight starts to come around, a good example, I've got a car where the top goes down. I'll pop my hat off. I'll drive to work or home, one road. I know it's about 15 minutes home. I take the hat off. I try and get the arms exposed. But on the way back, top's up, hat's on. I don't want that constant exposure. I want bursts. And I'll do it every day. Now I start doing this every day as soon as it starts getting warm enough. 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, every day. All of a sudden, my body now can handle 20 minutes. It can handle 30 minutes without any problem at all. Now, I don't have to worry about it as much then. Light clothing, t-shirts, things like that will block the sun. I think a white t-shirt has an SPF of about 15. So the sun still gets through it. It just doesn't get through it as hard. And that's really what this is. It's all about small doses over a period of time so the body can accommodate and adapt to the change. You just don't want to rush out and get 40, 50, 2 hours of sun and burn. Now, what about sunscreens? Because that's what they're asking here. Sunscreens, guys, you just got to be careful with, all right? The idea of, oh, well, they wash off and they wear off. And they don't really wear off. They absorb. They absorb into the skin. They absorb into the tissue. And the majority of sunscreens are toxic to the body. They're endocrine disruptors. That means they mess with fertility. They mess with how cells reproduce. They mess with all kinds of different little things that we've seen over the past several years. So as a rule of thumb, they're not really safe. So then you can say, well, doc, what do I do then? I've got children, this and that. You can go to natural sunscreens. Badger is one that I see a lot that I kind of like a bunch. It's one of my favorites. There's one called Third Rock Sunblock. But the problem with that one is it's very zinc oxide. Most of your natural sunscreens are going to be heavy in minerals. So they're going to block the sunlight with minerals. So you'll see magnesiums and zincs and things like that in there. But they tend to be white and a little pasty, a little coaty. You don't seem to have that problem with the Badger brand. So I really like that brand if you get a chance to hunt for it. Those are good things you can do. And remember, try to limit that exposure. So if your kid's out playing baseball or something like that, all right, 10, 15 minutes is enough. then start putting something on. I would recommend a more natural product, something like a Third Rock sunblock or a Badger block or something of that nature. The one has more minerals in it and more zinc oxide, so it's going to be more white. The Badger ones tend not to, so they're not as white. They make a facial one. They also make a body one. So these are things you can do that are relatively easy and simple for you. The key is, remember, you need the sun. It's not your enemy, okay? But just respect it for what it is. You need to cook food on a burner sometime, right? But you don't sit there and leave it on for 2 hours. Follow the directions, keep it simple, keep it easy. Hydrate that body, get plenty of vitamin C in your diet, the oranges and citrus fruits and things during the summer months. Make sure you're getting that vitamin E in there, get good quality fat in that diet, because fat helps the body to retard that sun, to push it back. So by doing these simple things, you can get really healthy and have a great summer. Hope that helps you. I'm Dr. Shaw, the Robin Hood of Healthcare.